Tonight's lesson is rounding whole numbers and decimals. When we talk about rounding, what exactly are we talking about? We round, we estimate a lot, and we probably don't even know we're doing it. When we're trying to figure out what does something cost, what's an approximate amount that something costs, how much money do you have to save to buy a certain toy. We estimate when we're trying to figure out how long it takes to do something. If somebody says, about how long is that going to take? And you think and you say, about 45 minutes. If you're estimating gas mileage that you get on a trip, that you're rounding usually and estimating something. So this is something we do a lot. And most of the time we don't really know that we're doing it. Well, our VIC for tonight, or very important concept, is what does it mean to round a number? What does that mean? Well, when we round a number, what we're doing is finding its approximate value. We're not finding the exact value. We're finding the approximate value. Why would we want to do this? Well, it makes it easier to add, subtract, divide, multiply. Anything that you do, especially that you're calculating mentally, it makes it a lot easier to do when you round. Here is an easy procedure to follow to help you round numbers. The first step is you have to find the place value that needs to be rounded. All right. Sometimes the place value is underlined. It will say take the place value that's underlined and round it to the nearest something. Sometimes the directions tell you which place value is to be rounded. You'll find either the underlined or the direction that actually write it out. All right. So when you find the number that the place value that is to be rounded, draw a line to the right of the number to be rounded. All right. Here our number is 4 that's underlined. So we're going to draw a line, I'm going to call it a fence, to the right of it, to the right of the number that is to be rounded. All right, next, use this little saying to decide whether to round a number up or to keep it the same. We will not round numbers down. We won't go from 4 down to a 3, for example. It either stays the same or it goes up. Here's the saying. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. 5 to 9, go up the line. All right, going back to our original problem here. We are going to be rounding the 4. Why? Because it's underlined. So look at the 3, which is the number to the right of the 4. Now we've drawn our fence or our line here, and let's look at the 3, which is the number to the right. Is the 3 0 to 4, or is it 5 to 9? Well, it's a 3. It's going to be 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will say that the number we're going to round is actually going to stay the same. So the 4 is going to stay the same, but every number to the right of the 4 is now going to turn into zeros. If this was a bigger number, everything to the right of that place value would turn into zeros. And now we have rounded 143 to the number 140. Let's try some more examples. We are going to round 15,786 to the nearest 100. All right, we're going to underline this because it said to the nearest 100, and the 7 is in the hundreds place. Ones, tens, hundreds. All right, now we're going to draw our line or our fence to the right of the 7. All right, you're going to ask yourself if the number to the right, which is 8, is that 0 to 4, stay on the floor, or is it 5 to 9, go up the line? Well, since it's an 8, it's 5 to 9, go up the line. So we are going to round this number up. We go up the line. What's the next number after 7? All right, it would be 8. And all the digits to the right of the number that is rounded, the rounded number goes to zeros. So we would round this number to the nearest hundred as 15,800. Remember that you look at the number that you're supposed to be rounding, you draw your line or your fence, look at the number to the right of the number to be rounded, and ask yourself the questions, is it 0 to 4 or is it 5 to 9? Now, decimals are rounded in the same way. Decimals. Here's an example. It says round here, this number, to the nearest tenth. Well, let's see. This number is in the tenths place. Remember, this is tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Remember, they all have a TH at the end. All right, this number is the tenth. We're going to draw our fence, and we're going to look at the 2. We're going to ask ourselves, is this 0 to 4 or 5 to 9? Well, it's a 2. It'll be 0 to 4. So 0 to 4 stay on the floor. This number will stay the same. And we can either write this number as 5/10. We could, if you wanted to be following directions really carefully, write it like that. The zeros aren't necessary though, because they're just holding a place value. When I said everything to the right of the number that's to be rounded will go to a 0, you could do that. You don't have to. Either way is correct. Here's another example. Round this to the nearest whole number. Well, here's our decimal point. Everything to this direction is going to be a decimal or less than 1. So our whole number would be this direction. So this is the whole number. Draw your fence. Look at the 9. Is that 0 to 4 or 5 to 9? Well, we just said it. It's 5 to 9. So it will go up the line to 8. You can either say 8 or you can draw it as that. You can draw it as that, since there's 2 place values here. Either way is correct. And the last one, round this to the nearest hundredth. Here's the number in the hundredths place. Draw your fence. Look at the 2. All right? Ask yourself, is it 0 to 4 or is it 5 to 9? Well, it's a 2. It's in the 0 to 4 section. So the 8 will stay the same, and the number, if we write it out, will be, we can say 48 hundredths. We can put the 0 there because I said everything to the right of the number is to go to zeros. You could do it that way. So either way works. All right. All right, on your homework guide for tonight, practice problems. This is section 3. Be sure to write this down on your homework guide. You are going to round these first 2 numbers to the nearest 1,000. I'm not going to tell you which place is the thousands place. You decide, and then round it to the nearest 1,000. For C and D, you are going to round these to the nearest tenth. I'm not going to tell you which one of these are tenths. You find it. Round it to the nearest tenth. Be sure to write it down and then write your solution, and we'll check it tomorrow. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can always email me. Thanks.